Hello, everyone, and welcome to Travel, Explore, Celebrate Life by Veena World. I'm Sunila Patil, and I'm really happy to welcome all of you today because we're going to be speaking of a very exciting destination, one of my very favorites, and I've gone there multiple number of times, and I'm sure that it's a dream destination for many of you to go to. We are talking of the US of A. And to speak to us about the US, we have some very esteemed guests with us. Sheema Vohra. Sheema is the founding member and the managing director of Sartha Global Marketing. She's been working in the tourism industry, hospitality, public relations for over 2.5 decades. And it's really special to talk to Sheema about the US because not only does she represent Brand USA, which is the tourism body of the USA, and many other destinations and states of the USA, but Sheema has actually she's one of the lucky ones who has lived and worked in the US, in Las Vegas, if I'm not wrong. And she really eats, breathes, lives USA and tourism. So welcome, Sheema.
Thank you so much, Sunil. I'm so excited to be here. So appreciate you having me today on this show. And hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today with us.
Yeah, Sheema, I think, we've worked so closely over the years and we've worked together, and it's always been special to do anything related to the US with you. So I'm very happy to have you here. But tell me, Sheema, how's it been? I mean, you really love the US. When did your romance with USA start?
That's a really good question. People ask me that a lot. But I went to study there at UNLV in Las Vegas. I did study, it was hotel management.
Mhm.
And thus began my whole romance and love for the US. And it keeps continuing and continues to grow. So I love going back there again and again.
Yeah, I know. And in fact, I was checking and we spoke about it. And even through the lockdown, you have managed to visit the USA. So you went there not once, but I think more than once, right? So how did it feel? Like you were there in the US. Did you feel the change? Did you, let's tell our viewers about that.
Yeah, I was lucky. I went during the pandemic, which was fortunate. And also went right after the pandemic. I just got back in February from San
Mhm.
Francisco, and it felt really great. To be able to travel. Things
Yes.
are a little different in the sense of the people, what they like to do, and
Mm,
a
mm,
lot more the travelers that you see now, a lot more individuals and smaller groups that we are seeing a lot more of there. But I mean, the travel within the US was seamless. You
mm.
get your antigen or PCR test, you decide, and then you get your ticket, you book your flight, and boom, you begin your journey. There's nothing else there. There is no quarantine, nothing at all. The only change there is that you have mask mandates. Depends on which state you're in. Some
Mhm.
have them, some don't.
Mm.
And by and large, most people have mask mandates for public transport, Uber. But other than that, life's going on beautifully. So
I mean, it's
please
amazing, Shima,
travel.
right? I've been seeing the news, and I think it's really commendable. I think the US has taken an amazing leadership stance in all of this that is going on because they were one of the first ones to open, and not only open, they really opened tourism in a good way. Like you don't feel worried about visiting there even now. And I think what the trick was that they made it very simple, and you did mention that. And all it takes is one RT-PCR, and yes, you can just leave to the US today if you want, if you have a valid visa, of course. So it's really easy, and it's really amazing that you can do there. And Shima, whenever I speak of the US, I always think of the length and the breadth of the country. It's vast, it's huge, it's amazing. So with 50 states in the country, there are so many things that you can do there. So, as a US expert, and for me, you are the ambassador of USA, Shima. So can you tell us a few experiences, because there's a wide variety of things that you can do in the US. So let's just talk about a few of the experiences that you really like and you think people should really enjoy when they go to the US.
That's a tall order. There's just so much, and we can go on that
Actually,
conversation.
Shima, I'm thinking we will need 50 episodes or 50 podcasts just for the USA, but let's start with one today.
No, absolutely. So I think the city experiences. Let me talk about that because we all land up flying into some city or the other. I mean, each city has such unique experiences, whether it's San Francisco, whether you're getting into Philadelphia, New Orleans, New York, Boston, you name it, and they're also different. The other unique piece is that within from these cities to go and do some really fun trips and interesting trips just outside is very
Yeah.
easy and convenient. I think something that the US offers is that infrastructure is great. So the convenience of travel, so you can do what you want and be able to travel around quite a bit. You even some of the wine regions outside cities
Yeah.
are gorgeous. Whether it be we all know Napa, Sonoma, any wine lover would, but the wine regions of Oregon or the wine regions of Virginia, another just really gorgeous places to get into. Some of the smaller destinations like Mammoth Lakes, very unique in its the way it's located. You can get into Yosemite fairly easily from there, which is fun. Or if you're in the Boston region, going into Martha's Vineyard. Oh my God, the Cape Cod, which I just loved during my student days, I remember, which was really nice. The other experience, which I think is really important to talk, is the road trips. Whether you want to drive or you want to take a chauffeur car or go in public transport, I think that there's no better way to see the United States than road trips. And of course, you have, the Route 66, you have Highway 1, which are very popular. And just gorgeous trips. We've talked about taking one of them too.
Yeah,
But
Shima.
doing that road trip or going into, say, something like the Blue Ridge Parkway, which goes from
Wow.
Virginia to North Carolina. I mean, so there are just activities galore. You get totally spoiled for doing anything there.
I know,
Remember
and
our trip?
I've always been thinking, and you've mentioned so many different things that you can do there, and I agree completely. Like I think it's also that time that all our people who are visiting, the tourists visiting the US, are looking beyond the usual activities, also
Mhm.
the usual attractions. So yeah, we all know New York, and we all know Orlando, and we all know San Francisco and Los Angeles, but there is just so much more. You mentioned New Orleans and the whole music route around it. You mentioned the great outdoors that you can be, Yosemite, Yellowstone. There's just so much and so many things to do. And I remember, Shima, the last time that I was in one of my favorite trips, and you mentioned the road trip. So I had two trips that actually we did together. One of them we were together. One was when we were in Nevada and we were doing the road trip together, and we passed by
Mhm.
the area where they actually said that they had UFO sightings, and we all got off on the
Yes.
road and we were standing there. That was something I can never forget. And similarly, when in fact I did the California itinerary, and I love California, so I was so excited. And this was a mega fam, from India. So there was a fam is a familiarization tour where the tour operators, travel agents like Veena World would go to a certain country and check out places that we can offer, and develop products and itineraries around it for our guests. So I was on one such mega fam for California. And Shima, imagine, like, we landed, we came in, and what is the first thing you do when you land, right? You go and you check into a hotel. Here we are
Yes.
landing, and the first thing we do is, from the airport we went kayaking. I mean, where
Wow.
else can you do that? So it was so amazing. We got off, we went in, straight off, boom, we were kayaking. And after that, we were in a vineyard, we were wine tasting, and then we had the day. So it's just amazing. And the road is so beautiful, the journey is amazing, so you can really get from one place to the other so easily. So yeah, I think 100% road trips are something that we should look at going. In fact, Shima, we've spoken a lot about getting on a road trip or driving together
Yes.
in the US, and maybe this year or next year we should definitely get around that. But Shima, tell me, so like you and me, or there are other friends of mine. I love to do road trips with my friends as well. Or sometimes I even like to do a trip alone. I love solo travel. So I like to
Mhm.
go off somewhere on my own. What do you think of the US and women's travel and solo travel? What would you recommend?
Well, I've traveled a lot alone. even as a student, and even now I travel because every time I go on work, I like to add a few extra days. I think what's important is the fact that one feels pretty safe and secure in the United States, and the ease of travel, which I mentioned before. The language is not an issue. People are very forthcoming, and it's a diverse population, so it's fairly easy. So from wellness retreats to doing some unique things like seeing attractions like Lure caverns, you can be doing that. You can also look at some really activities which are fantastic, whether it be snow activities. I mean, can you imagine just going out there and learning how to ski? I mean, one of my bucket
Wow.
list items I want to do,
Yeah.
or hiking, biking, skydiving, which are fun things, which are also fun to do with a group of friends, but also fun to do on your own. So I think there's a lot there that the country offers, and in a very nice environment, because you'll see locals around too. And one of the things I really like to do when I'm traveling on my own also is immerse yourself in some local experiences, either
Yes.
going there and learning to something as simple as strawberry picking. I didn't know it would be fun, but it actually is. Or someone like me who doesn't like to cook, learning to cook, maybe some Creole cooking in New Orleans. So I think there's just a lot of things that it depends what you
Yeah,
would like
it's
to
I
do.
think it's like many different countries within a country, right? With the US,
Yes.
there's always something different to be doing. And I'm glad, like you say, it really is quite safe to get around. It's so easy. Like I think the ease
Yes.
of, even whether you're using the Amtrak, which is the train system there, or every little city and place is connected by an airport. So you could just, save time and fly from one place to the other. It's really easy to get around. And I remember talking about this with you, Shima, that the best part of the US, and I think that's very important for a solo traveler. One, of course, safety, to
Mm-hmm.
the kind of experiences that you get, but which is in a way unique to the US, is that you experience freedom, right? No one's judging
Yes.
you, no one's looking at you in like, why is she alone? Or you're not judged if you're sitting somewhere alone. It's completely okay to be whoever you want to be. So I think we discussed,
Yes.
and I'm sure you
So
agree on this.
no, no, you're so right. And I think for a lot of people, and I know as a student, when I went the first time, the fact that I could just walk in and just sit and, have a meal at a nice table, not be locked into one little corner because I was alone. So I think you're so right there,
Yeah.
Sunila. You're so right about that. That's
Yeah,
absolutely.
and like whether you're going alone or you're going with friends, there's always just so much to do, or with families as well. But one thing which stands apart for the US for me is the fact that there are many cities that never sleep and really don't sleep. So the nightlife and entertainment, like it's not just about going from one monument to the other, which can get a little tiring at times or exhausting because you're just seeing monuments after monuments after monuments. But with in the US, you can kind of mix and match quite a bit, and entertainment and nightlife is just next level. So I think we can just speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, and I love, nightlife entertainment, my favorite topic.
Uh,
I love
you
night.
studied in Las Vegas, Shima. It has to be your favorite topic. I mean, wow,
Yeah.
to be able to study in that environment.
I have
Amazing.
to say that was as a young person going there, it was a lot of fun. And but you know what's fun? What's fun with the United States and their nightlife piece is, again, it's what you want to do. There are some people who want to go pub hopping. There are some unique pubs. They'll have some unique themes around there, and you play around with that. Some of the venues of the nightlife is great, whether there are rooftop bars, which are just fantastic, and weather is great, especially in the West Coast where you see a lot of that. Some people like comedy shows. Hey, go to a comedy show, pick
Yeah.
that up and laugh around. And live music, which how much we really crave for live music, and you see a lot of that. You have shows around. So I think when it comes to that entertainment, it's really you select, or listen, guess what, I want to do it all. Well, then do it all, because there's so much of a choice there when it comes to nightlife.
And
And
yeah, we often speak of Las Vegas, but honestly, I think the nightlife is all across, right? Every state, every place you go, you always have some form of entertainment or nightlife for sure.
no, and every place has its own uniqueness, including the
Yeah.
smaller cities. They
Yeah.
have their own nightlife, which is so much fun and unique. Whether it be the local pub next door, whether it be a very very specific show that you want to see. So you're absolutely right there, and that's the beauty. So if nightlife and entertainment is something you want to do, you don't need
Yeah.
to necessarily run to only the major cities.
Yeah,
Which I
that's the
think,
best part. In fact, there is just, I mean, we can go on talking about things to do in the US. And like I mentioned, I think we definitely will be doing more podcasts and more episodes also on the USA, because if we just think of one state and the cities in it, and then the excursions, then the outdoors, there is just so much that we can't stop talking about it. But one of the things that for me, especially personally, is really important about USA. And now I know you're going to laugh, but it's shopping. I
of
enjoy
course.
shopping in the US. And Shima, I must tell you, so on many of my trips to the US, what I often do, I don't like to carry two bags, but then I always want shopping. And for the first two times that I went, I ended up always purchasing a bag there because I had so many things with me. I needed a suitcase.
Yeah.
So now I've become smart. I put one smaller suitcase inside a bigger one, and I just travel with one suitcase till the time that I go to shop. And I think it's best to leave shopping for the end. Do your sightseeing, your entertainment, everything that you have to do, and at the end go off to shop, and voila, two of my bags come out, and I'm happy. Everyone's happy. So let's talk of shopping. There are outlet malls, there are city stores. What's your favorite, Shima? Where would you go?
Well, shopping is my favorite. I learned that with you. We've had some really fun times.
Mhm.
You know, shopping, and I think about this so often with shopping in the United States, and I came up with the two V's:
Okay.
variety and value at every
True.
price point. It doesn't matter. When I was a student, I loved it.
Mm.
Well, otherwise, I loved it. Now I adore it. And if I go with you, it's even a better experience. So,
Yes.
you look at this, it's so different. You're doing high street shopping, which is
Mm.
totally different. Some people like departmental store shopping, so that's there. But
Mm.
yeah, I mean, come on, the outlets just they are got to be everyone's favorite, mine included. Because it's a great environment to
It's an
shop
amazing
in,
bargain.
and
Yeah.
bargains are great whether you do any of the outlets, and there are outlets all across the country, which is great.
Mm.
So if I missed shopping in one, or I liked something somewhere, and I want to go back and see if it's there, I can still look for it. So there are some shoppers who are very, very organized and will just shop at the end. There are others like me who shop a little everywhere. So
No,
you
no.
just take your pick.
I'm very serious when it comes to shopping in the US. I don't think I shop like that anywhere else, but I would really love to give a few tips on how to shop in the US. So if you're in the city centers, then a lot of the shops or the malls in the cities often have a personal stylist. And it
Yes.
saves you a lot of time and energy. If you can, all you have to do is go online, book a appointment, or you can even walk in and ask for it. If they're available, they will do it. And a lot of them even offer it free. So all you have to go
Yes.
is go and tell them, I need a dinner dress. And they will go and, go around the shop while you sit in peace, and they bring things to you. So for people who say, I don't enjoy it, but I only do it to get something, that kind of works, I feel. And the other thing is the outlet malls. Now, here again, make sure you have really good, comfortable walking shoes, because they are vast and huge. The outlet malls are just huge. So make sure you have good shoes. If you're going shoe shopping, wear a shoe that you can easily take off. And most of the outlet malls often have the stores listed on the website. So kind of, it's easy. I mean, you just choose what you want, because many places, like we realized, Shima, was even in one place, you have more than two outlet malls.
Yes.
So pick and choose your favorite shop. And like Shima said, variety and value. Nothing beats shopping in the US. So really, guys, enjoy it quite a bit. Shima, I think we'll have to kind of wrap up today's episode, because there's just so many things and so much to do. But I
Yes.
do have a few questions for you. And one of the most important questions is that a lot of celebration is done in the US, Christmas, New Year's Eve. So, yes, if I want to enjoy that, I will go at that particular time. But what really is the best time to visit the US? Like some countries you can't go there because it's too hot, some countries are too cold. So that kind of limits the period that we can visit the country. What about the US? Can I go at any time, or is there a best time?
That's such a good question, and really, the uniqueness of the destination is any time's a good time. Simply because depending on the kind of weather that you like. So in December, where it gets very cold, even in Bombay, I'd say it gets cold there. So it gets
Uh-huh.
cold here, and you want to get away from the winter. Well, you get into
Hmm.
the West Coast. It's very pleasant and it's beautiful. The other thing is, watching the snow, or being in a city, or where there is snow happening. It's very unique, and we all love that. You can really do that in the US, white Christmas, so to speak, because
Yeah.
you're not going to get stuck anywhere. The roads are clean. You can still do your stuff. There are a lot of Christmas markets, which are fun for you. So it's really one of the unique destinations which is really, really year round. So you again select, and that's the beauty of the US. It's what you want to do, you get to do it in
Yeah.
the very, very unique environment of the country, which I think is wonderful. And of course, Sunila, it's a 10-year visa. So if you have kind of,
Yeah.
experienced it one time, go back again and go back again, and you will always want more. And I think that's the fantastic thing, which country gives you a one-time 10-year visa
Yeah.
that you can just go in and travel. So and now, like I said, right now, antigen test and you're done.
Yes,
So it's
and
really
and the
get on
US
the
is
road.
open. But I'm just gonna, you said snow, and it reminded me of something, because somehow, over the years, most of us, not all, but most of us, think of the US because of what we see in the movies, right? And what we see in the movies is mega cities, ultra modern cities, and we often forget that there is just so much more, and it really is a year round destination. So if you love the outdoors, there is nothing better than the US that you can get to. So beyond the cities also, you can enjoy all of that. And for me, this realization kind of came in Lake Tahoe, Shima. So I was doing in California,
Yes.
and I was in Lake Tahoe, and it was winter, like you said, this it started snowing. It was so pretty, and it was just so pretty. So we could, go check out a ski resort, see how that works. It was amazing. And I remember going to Lake Tahoe, the actual lake, and the water was so clear. It looked like drinking quality water, and I think it is, because you could see right down till the depth, till the
Yes.
end. Simply amazing. And in the night, it was really a fun trip. So we were sitting at the hotel, and there was a bonfire. It was a little cold, so we were, having marshmallows and roast toasting marshmallows and enjoying them. It was really amazing. So singing Bollywood songs, doing all of that. So I
Yeah, of
think,
course.
yeah, you're right. I mean, for the summer, there are beaches that you could go to. In the winter, you have the ski resorts. So it really is a year-round destination. And the autumn colors are amazing too. And so are the
Yes.
spring season. So you have cherry blossoms. There's just something to do everywhere, all around the year. That's simply amazing.
And if I just may add to end up is,
Yes, please.
I mean, you talk about a Disney to Universal, forget
Yeah.
the kids. I think the adults enjoy that too. So you're quite right. There's just so much there. We can go on and on and on, Sunila.
Yes, Sheema, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and speaking about it. And I'm just going to leave everyone with this thought, that very important what you mentioned. The US visa is indeed a 10-year validity visa. So once you get it, you can go to the US for the next 10 years, and then it becomes quite simpler. You just have to do a Dropbox and again renew your visa. So there's nothing to stop you from discovering this beautiful country again and again and again. So, for the first timers, keep your US bucket list ready, and you'll be amazed, you'll be surprised, and you will be soon taking that second trip. And yes, if you have any relatives, friends who are living there, please do go ahead. We see that a lot in Veena World, Sheema, where people are coming in. We lose count of how many have joined and how many have left, because there's always some relative, and it's the easiest way also for the others to come in and discover the US. So, Shima, as we wrap up the episode for USA, is there something you want to tell our viewers?
Get on that flight very, very soon.
Yes.
Flights open up now on the 27th, and I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Great time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Shima. This was really special, and I always enjoy chatting with you, but especially on Travel Explore Celebrate Live. We're very happy to have you here. And this will, of course, we will reconnect with you once things are open much more, and we will talk of some other part of the USA very soon. But till then, to everyone else, keep listening, keep sharing, and keep liking. And let us know where in the US you would like to visit. And our next podcast, we will definitely touch upon that. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.